So it is 2:30 and I am scheduled to be induced today, March 29th at 6 o'clock. And how do I feel? I guess I feel focused, determined. I wouldn't say that I'm just like super excited about it. Of course, it wasn't a part of my birth plan, but it's life. So I'm gonna head out and run some quick errands and enjoy my solitude as long as I can before I check myself in. Alright, so we're on our way to the hospital. Induction done! And I got everything done. I also brought a pillow. Look at my back seat. It's just everywhere. But yeah, I think I got everything. So, hospital time. Looks like we'll make it on time. So the induction begins. The induction begins on Friday night at 6 p.m. I'm kind of going to walk through this whole video. I did attempt to vlog this experience, but since this was my first vlog, it failed miserably. I have little random snippets to insert throughout this, but once that pain hit me, y'all, I was not. Vlog went out the window. Cameraman was asleep. It was over. Yes, this video is going to be very detail oriented, just in case anybody out there goes through the same process as me. Disclaimer before anybody jumps in my comments: I am not a healthcare provider. I am not a doctor. Please consult with your healthcare provider or doctor, midwife, nurse, whoever is doing your labor before you take any of my advice. But yes, my medical induction starts. I think it's important to have a birth plan and to do your research. I did not pass out a hard copy, even though I had it all printed out and packed. I did not end up passing out my birth plan because from the jump, getting induced was never my plan. I initially started off wanting a natural water birth. None of these things happened. My labor never really spontaneously started, so to speak. My water never broke. Now, I know some people hear about this. It's common when you have your first child, but I'm starting to think it's more hereditary. My birth went on for 42 weeks. I know that sounds probably ridiculous to all the mamas out there. What's common nowadays, 41 weeks and a half is pretty much how far healthcare providers would safely recommend you go.
Gosh, this baby is bigger than 11 weeks. Oh, jeez Louise. Look at that. You see that? It's all wiggly.
He's huge.
Exactly. I need to give you an order for a formal ultrasound. This is not a 12-week baby.
Oh my.
You know, look at the body, yeah. Look at the legs. You know, it should be so clear. Let's see what, let's just get an estimate. Step bouncing around.
That's inside of me.
That is inside you.
It's an alien.
I mean, you could look at the, the little legs and it's jumping around. You can see the heart.
Looking at how my due dates changed based off of how Baby Savvy was measuring, my due date was changed to March 11th. My original due date was March 22nd. Based off of an ultrasound, as we know, due dates are just estimates. I was going to stick with the one based off of my ovulation because it's the most accurate. Based off of the calculations from my last period, March 22nd would have put me at 41 weeks. My midwife was getting rather concerned. She almost made me sign a document saying that I was pretty much putting this whole process into my own hands. But eventually I was just like, okay, let's do the induction. I don't want anybody to think I'm causing any harm to my baby by continuing on being pregnant. My holistic approach told me that this baby is just happy. This baby is just comfortable. She's gonna come when she wants to. Leading up to my induction, I was on non-stress tests. So they did monitor me from 40 weeks on. They were keeping track to make sure she was doing well inside. There was no stress. Also at 40 weeks on, I started to get my membrane swept to try to encourage the process. There was other things that I did at home, like eating baits. Anything they suggested, I pretty much did to kind of spontaneously get things going. But nothing happened. Okay, so I'm all checked in. The time is now 7:40 and I now have my Cook's catheter in for this induction. They were trying to introduce Pitocin already, of course, but I am not for that. This is the start of my induction. I'm going to try to fall asleep like soon. The nurse and midwife thought it was good for me to get some rest. That's a great idea if you can naturally go to sleep. If you can't naturally go to sleep, it might be your body trying to put you into labor, which I did not think about at the time. But the nurse kept pushing it, like, you know, just kept pushing, like, you need to get some rest. I'm like, okay, well, let me just try to go to sleep. I took it, did not even get any sleep. So I guess it kind of like stored itself inside of me and kicked in at the wrong time. So advice for you ladies, if you're trying to go into labor, if you're trying to get things started, don't take the sleeping pill, okay? Your body will naturally push you to sleep if you're tired, okay? I think I was very anxious, and I just know medicine doesn't always go as it says in the description with me. This is why I'm holistic. I'm just not holistic for the sake of being holistic. I know my body, okay? And the sleeping pill didn't work. Okay, so it is 10:07. I think it's best I get some sleep because an hour after having this catheter in, I've been having cramps, contractions every like 2 to 4 minutes, and they're stronger than they've been my whole pregnancy. So I'm just gonna get some Z's. They gave me a sleeping pill, forgot what it was called, but hopefully that knocks me out so I get some rest. But yeah, it's getting real, guys. What are we, 3 hours in? Just know there's other ways to spontaneously get things started, so to speak, without going straight to drugs. So the Cook's catheter is basically a catheter, which is like a tube they stick up your vagina and they fill it with saline, I believe this is what it is, some type of fluid, saline and water. And there's a balloon on both sides of your cervix trying to get it to soften. So putting pressure on your cervix so it can soften up and eventually open up. It's mechanical, no drugs, nothing topical. It's like being applied to you. So I was just like, yes, I'm fine with that. And they let that sit. Well, they let me sleep with the catheter inside of me, hoping that in the morning everything would be all softened up and ready to go. In the morning I was at 5 centimeters, which is great. I initially started at no dilation, whatever. But my cervix was soft, so the catheter did help a lot. 5 centimeters. Yay. So the time is just about 8:30. It's the next day, and I showered and ordered room service. Got some fruit and an omelet that I can't imagine stomaching right now. And I don't really feel anything. I just feel very full. Great. And my midwife is on her way. gonna get hooked back up to the monitor. My midwife is gonna be here soon to talk options, so just waiting for her. Exciting stuff. The midwife came in like, yeah, okay, let's break your water. And this is why she never took that sleeping pill, because I'm like, okay, go ahead. You know, that wasn't me. That was the drugs. If I was in like not a tired state, I probably would have waited for her to break my water, because as soon as she broke my water, them contractions start coming, but not heavy. Okay, they moved me to another room to monitor my contractions. I could see the little heels going or whatever, but again, they were not consistent. About 4 hours passed or so. I was bouncing on the yoga ball, trying to get things going, trying to, like, you know, limber up. I was sitting in the bed the whole time though, like pretty much the whole time, because I wanted to try some nipple stimulation. They bring out the pump, which is like a hospital grade pump, so it like rolls over. It's this big pump, and I've never used a pump before, so you know, I start pumping, and they were expecting it not really to do anything, but I really think that is what made my contractions so strong. I'm talking about off the charts. I remember it being like a scale from like 0 to 100 on the chart, and my heels were like off the chart. Like you could not see the peaks of my contractions, okay? So you know how like a scale, like it'd be like doo 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 at the hospital, the little thing that monitors things, you know, I don't know what it's called, but you couldn't see them peaks. So it really was like hurting, and it was not consistent enough for it to be considered active labor. Like I would have some that were like 1 to 2 minutes apart, but then 4 minutes, you know, out of nowhere. So this, I feel like, was a result of me not naturally going into labor. My body was not ready to consistently give me contractions that were close enough to get my baby out. So about 12 hours into it, 6 p.m. comes around, and I am literally exhausted, dead, y'all. Like I'm ready to like fall off the yoga ball. Like I was getting irritated. I kept getting up. I kept sitting down. They came to put the wireless monitor on me. The thing wouldn't keep, like, you know, a radar going. It wouldn't keep like receiving a signal. I was like, take it off, put me back on the, you know, the one where I get in the bed. I got in the bed, couldn't sit down. Oh, it was horrible. The nurse kept coming in to adjust the thing. I just didn't want nobody by me. And I think my mom noticed me, because she's in the room at this time with the father of baby Savvy. Daddy Savvy was there as well, and I think they noticed me getting noticeably irritated. Like they took notice to my irritation. Okay, at this point my mom came through and pretty much saved the day. She knows I was like, natural birth, no epidural, no, I'm taking this pain, no. She knew I was at my limits. So she was like, Rachel, you know, you gotta have energy to push. So you might just want to take the epidural. At first, hearing those words, it was so heartbreaking. Like, what? Because she's on the same playing field as me. She know, like, medicine just ain't, you know, where it's at. And mind you, this lady had 7 natural births. So in my mind, she's the guru. Forget the midwife. Guru right here. You listen to your guru. So I'm like, okay, you know what? She right. She's smart. Shoot me up, y'all. Stick me up. Epidural. Put it in my bag. I was ready. Okay. I was ready. I felt like it was the right thing to do. And lo and behold, I went to sleep, y'all. I got my epidural at like 7:30. I went to sleep, woke up at 9 o'clock. I felt like I had to take the biggest poop in the world. And my midwife told me, let me know when you feel some pressure. Okay, that was it. I knew that was her. They start breaking down the bed. So you like, you know, your legs is like, hello. And they, you know, told me, you know, get ready to push. They was going to let me know when I was having a contraction and to push. So underwhelming. Because you can't feel nothing. They tell you to push with, you know, like you having a poop. My mama been told me before I got to the hospital, having a poop. Go ahead, baby Sebby. Get it out. My mama been told me before I went to the hospital not to push with those muscles because I was going to mess myself up. The nurse was telling me, lay down and push. No, I am up. Like, I literally just want to sit on my butt so I don't use those muscles. And I'm like trying to push with the muscles in the front, but you can't feel them. Like, you can't push what? Like, but I'm guessing it's like the release of like a Kegel, because that's what I started doing. They start cheering me on like, great, that's great, Rachel, keep going. You will never understand the power of praise until you go into labor, because you need it. It's like you got a whole little cheering squad. You know, you got the nurse, the midwife, your family cheering, and you need it. Well, 11/21 is when she was delivered exactly. But I'm telling y'all, it's like really nothing like that experience of just life being like plopped on you. Okay, first of all, it feels like it's like, okay, they had to take my epidural off so I could start feeling my pushes a little bit. So I did feel some pain, but I don't think it's nothing nearly as going through a fully natural birth. I started to feel like the pressure down there more, and I started to feel like a release. You know, when she did come out, I felt that release or whatever. So, you know how when women have a C-section, it's like a curtain? I literally felt like it was like a whole nother world on the end of my vagina. Like, she came out of a force field, y'all. She came out of a portal, y'all. Like, I'm telling you, it was like a whole nother world down there. Where did you come from? Who sent you here? So, yeah, after that, it was pretty much, you know, they sew you up. I felt them stitches. She was sticking me with needles to, like, numb me. Ain't nothing was numb, y'all. I felt every stitch. I asked her how many stitches. She was like, oh, it's continuous. We don't really count. It felt like a lot. I should have been counting, but it felt like a lot. But baby Savvy instantly latched on. If y'all can't tell, she waiting for some milk right now, so I'm trying to wrap this up. Yeah, she ain't had no problem latching on. I wasn't even forming my nipple at the time. She got up there and she got on it. Like, she wasn't playing. But yes, it was just the most beautiful experience of my life. I know that sounds crazy, but now I'm going through it once. I feel like I know more so what to expect, and I am excited to do it again, God willingly, and I will record it for y'all, God willingly. But yeah, that first time, they say it's the hardest, and I see why. Like, my advice is don't do nothing. Don't even lift a pinky before you about to go into labor. You need every ounce. Drink a green smoothie. Drink something that's going to give you some energy, but nothing heavy, y'all. Like, don't even play. You need all your energies. You don't need to exert no energy. Don't lift no bags getting out your car. Like, you gotta have somebody with you, because every little ounce is gonna be needed to get through that. And it's not so necessarily the pushing, it's really them contractions. It's really like the worst period you ever had, and you need to be able to like ride them things through. Get up and walk around, because that's not what I did. And I feel like if I would have did that and like walked through them contractions, I would have felt a lot better. But I didn't have the energy. Like, I was so tired. Like, it was like that sleeping pill they gave me kicked in when it was time, like when it was go time, and my body was like, no. She know, see? My body was like, no, we ain't really got the energy for all this, so no. But that is just my birth story, y'all. And at the end of the day, I'm forever be pro-life for me and mine, because ain't nothing as beautiful as that whole experience. Now, I won't get into no controversial statements or nothing like that, but y'all just don't know until y'all know. I'm telling y'all, it was portals, force fields. The grace of God was with us, okay? I walked in that hospital and the nurse name was Christian, and I just knew that from that moment on that God was with me, and that was his way of telling me, okay, I got you. It was a black girl, her name was Christian. I mean, it was just comfort. Like, I felt like he was telling me, yeah, things won't go your way, but I'm here. So thanks for watching, guys. Baby Savvy has been so patient. She's gonna go off on me in a second, so I have to go. But thank you all for watching, and as always, let them know, fat, what we say. Be blessed. She said it, y'all. Y'all heard her. She said it. Okay. Bye.